it's funny because the sort of neighborhood I grew up in, the school I went to, was majority black people, but there were more Caribbean descendants. So at the time there was a lot of sort of clash between Caribbeans and Africans. And at school, because we were the minority, they kind of looked down on us. They thought that we all live in shack houses, we all live with monkeys, and it was very ignorant. And at the same time, we were like, "What are you talking about?" They didn't think that we could speak English. I'm like, "What, bro? I went to a school in South Africa where I spoke English. What are you talking about?"
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Blind Faith Conversations with Us. We call them the Blind Faith Conversations with Us because, as you guys know, we are in pre-production of our latest short film called Blind Faith, and it is on the way. Just watch the space. On today's episode, we've got the legend, a man that inspires me a lot. He's inspired me ever since I met him. You know, Luntu Masiza. He was on Barbershop Chronicles. He is about to be on another play in Durban. I don't know if I can say it. You guys will see it. If you are in Durban, you probably saw him on the Life of a Likely Secret Agent, the Unlikely Secret Agent. If you are on Showmax, make sure you catch his film Some Mother's Sons, which he directed, and he is also one of the stars, and he also produced it. You know, this man is one of the people that also inspired me to go into production, to go into producing, to go into writing, to go into directing. So today it is a huge honor to sit down with you, Mr. Luntu Masiza.
Blessings, King. Blessings.
Thank you, King.
Greetings.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm super excited to have the conversation. It's been coming.
It's been coming. It's been a long time coming. We were talking off the camera about the years we have known each other. 10 years in 2025. It's been an amazing journey, King. You've done so much. I think the first time when I met you, you were coming from the UK.
Yes.
You're coming from the UK, and can you just let us, I know I watched your play that talked about your whole journey coming here, but for those that don't know, Vetu, how was that experience of growing up in the UK and then now making a return back home?
I guess, look, I always look at it like, look, it just happened to be part of my life, and growing up that side, it wasn't anything exciting for me or fascinating, because you live here when you're 10 years old, you don't have a choice. Your mom just says you're going to England, you're like, okay, it's fine, I'm going there, it's a new life. But even then, because you're so young, you're not as woke, as conscious about how the world works or anything like that. But of course, when I did arrive in the UK, there was experiences that one wasn't used to, and that's cultural differences. You know what I mean? We come from Africa, not just South Africa. Africa, we respect our elders. You know what I mean? We know how to, when we see an elder person, someone who's older than us, talking to us, sending us to the shop, we can do it immediately without any questions. When you arrive in Europe, in England, where I was specifically, you see kids telling their mom, "Shut up, man! Who are you talking to now? I'll call social services on you." And you know what I mean? You think to yourself, what? In school, you see kids there sitting in the back of the class, relaxing, and the teacher's like, "Yo, can you please read that?" And then, "No, I'm not reading. Get him to read it." And you're like, so those were the sort of cultural differences I kind of experienced when I first arrived in the UK. Like, damn, these kids have so much freedom. Damn, you can talk to your elders like that. And I remember trying to do the same thing at home.
What happened?
Hey, trying to tell my mom, shut up. He said, "You might be in England here, but this is still Africa in this household." You know what I mean?
The household
is still African. You know, we will discipline you. So that was the real experience, and of course, then you adapt, and then you want to fit into the cultures of there, because you're an African, and at the time, it wasn't cool to be African.
In the UK.
In the UK, it was not cool to be African.
Can you imagine maybe even racism, not even just racism, but even xenophobia on that side?
But it's funny because the sort of neighborhood I grew up in, the school I went to, was majority black people, but there were more Caribbean descendants. So at the time there was a lot of sort of clash between Caribbeans and Africans. And at school, because we were the minority, they kind of looked down on us. They thought that we all live in shack houses, we all live with monkeys, and it was very ignorant. And at the same time, we were like, "What are you talking about?" They didn't think that we could speak English. I'm like, "What, bro? I went to a school in South Africa where I spoke English. What are you talking about?" So it was things like that, and then of course, because when you are the minority, you do wanna be accepted by the majority. You do wanna be fitting as part of the culture, as part of the people. And unfortunately, the downside of that is that you as a young person, you don't really have an identity of yourself. You don't really know who you are. You will end up succumbing what's the word, to the culture of that place. And we saw a lot of my friends who were Africans, myself included, wanting to fit in, and therefore we do exactly what the English kids are doing, the black British kids who are first generation Caribbean. You know what I mean? Now you're telling teachers to shut up. Now you're telling, and then there was a lot of robberies, like knife crime is a huge thing there. There's certain areas you can't go to. You know what I mean? There's territory things, and then you end up.
So it's not as glamorous as we might, as people that are less traveled might think it is.
Yeah, exactly. They think you're in England, life is good, life is soft. You're living in the land of milk and honey. No,
it's not like
it's
that.
not milk and honey. You know, especially we would talk about Barbershop Chronicles, and one of the things that interests me in Barbershop Chronicles is your fellow countrymen who you meet on the other side. So I had a lot of friends from Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? We bonded so much, and you find fellow South Africans, and you kind of grow up. One of my closest friends, Jabulani, he passed away in 2020. 2020, during COVID,
Rest in peace.
One of my closest friends, man. We were the only ones who would speak Zulu to each other in class and gossip about it. I don't mshaya ngempama lo. Athi mshaya. That's young papel. He's young boy papel. You see what I mean? But it's just me and him. They don't know. Everyone else in the class don't know what we're saying. Took a t-shirt out and no one knows. So there was those, you know, those fellow connections that you make as well, and that they make you, that remind you of home. You know what I mean?
Man, that's epic. And I mean, it's just talking about that, like, bro, good Lana, when you hear, you are like, I found myself trying to fit in, you know, because you know, and then now there's gukona ishift uma se ngia like a show where I spent my grade 1 and grade 2. You know, I went to a boarding school 14, and Showa Junior was predominantly black kids. In boarding school, it was just black kids. You know, and then you interact with white people. But now when I moved to my new primary school, Mhlali, and now it's a lot of white kids, and the black kids are little, and now I think I'm like, oh, maybe I'll fit in actually with the white kids, you know. And I think Leon Deyenzega for so long, up until I found drama, when then I was able to actually reconnect with myself, who I am, and just not want to fit in, you know. So I definitely understand Leon Doyok fit in, especially trying to fit in as a younger child. How would you say that affected your mental space, your mental health?
Interesting. You know what, I didn't realize it. It's only now I reflect. Maybe even in my early 20s I started to reflect, and then I started to make the shift and adjustment to say, no, Luntu's got these qualities. Actually, this is what I like about him. Actually, this is where I come from and my roots. But from the age of, let's say, 13 to about 18, 19, there was a fight, and which felt that I was never good enough as a Luntu, because you're constantly having to prove yourself to people and constantly having to try and fit in a different system and country, and in that you lose yourself. And I lost myself most definitely as a teenager, and even though they were my most formative years of growing up. But if I look at it now, the potential I could have reached. You know, there's so much more greater I could have reached. But I mean, you're a teenager, you don't know better.
You don't know better. Yeah.
You don't know better,
Yeah.
and you're just thinking it's all fun and games.
Yeah.
Like, I never put effort in school because I was always, because also the way the system is designed in the UK, it's made for foreigners to fail or black kids or to fail in a way, because I was in bottom set for everything. So there's each grade is like 4 sets separated into 4 sets.
A class, B class, C class, like that.
The A class are the top ones, the B ones, the middle, whatever. For all of my subjects, I was on the bottom ones for all of them.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of felt like, why am I trying? But I didn't realize the psyche was playing up on me, because I never tried in school. I never, and what made it worse then, because I'm kind of technically raising myself. When I go home, my mom's getting ready to go work.
Yeah, and it's a foreign country.
It's a foreign country. She comes back from work in the morning. I'm getting ready to go to school.
And
that's a cycle. Yes, and that's a cycle. I come back from school. She's getting ready to go work.
Damn.
And so there was no one to push me to say, do your homework. There was no one to sit with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, one might say, damn, I could have done this, but I was a child. Who wants to do the homework if there's a 14, 15-year-old? I don't want to do it.
No one wants to do homework.
No one is telling me to sit down and be in a corner and read my book and read out loud to me, Luntu. I didn't have those things. And I think even that impacted me. Up to even now, my sight reading is not the greatest. But I realized because I didn't have a proper foundation growing up as a kid to sort of work on those skills. You know what I mean? It's only now as an older I have to make that I'm conscious enough to understand what the root of it is.
Man, that's so impressive. It's so impressive, but it's also so mind-boggling, because in South Africa, iningi leyo nto, where ingane doesn't have leyo nto leyo yokuthi khona umzali ozomtshela and homework. You know, kukhona a lot of child parent households in South Africa because of indlela nje esikhule ngayo. And you know, it's so interesting to hear that and see how far you have come from that. You know, and I think that just talks to resilience yako, talks to the type of person that you are. But before that, in terms of how incredible you are from the challenges that you faced, abantu abayithola bekoma challenges anjengawe as a young teenager bazithola kukhona umjito omdala ozomnika isibhamu so shesha impahla yakho manje unika ama drugs, and then he finds himself in gang life. So how were you, because also that side there
is a lot of
so how was it managing ukuthi yo ngiyazibona ukuthi ngiyaphi but akufanele ngicine ngifike
I think I was blessed enough which instilled certain values in me, even though at times I was disobedient, but I knew there were certain values that we carried at home that we believed in. For example, I didn't drink for the longest time. I didn't, even though my friends would smoke weed, and at times I would do it, and at time we're talking about 12, 13, I'd have a bit, but something at the back of my head, my conscience was like, if your mom found out about this, you'd be in trouble. You know what I mean? And because my mom, she's a nurse and she's a psychiatrist nurse as well, Mama played tricks on me. Actually, that's your deport. You know, if you are caught misbehaving, that's a deport. But we are misbehaving. It's a gotus. So you've got all of those things at the back of your mind. Say, I can't go off the rail too much because there's chances of me.
You're not really European.
I'm not European. I can get sent to my country anytime. I can get sent back anytime. But also I know my mom and how she is and how strict she is. You know what I mean? So there was those hesitations. And then she instilled the church, going to church. Even though there was times that I was driving not to go. No, I don't want to go to church today. I think, hey, I was just for money as a cox. As a cox, I was with my end of the month. I was with for money. I'm like, because I love football so much. But I'm like, okay, I have to go check so I can get my new football boots. So my mom always had ways of managing and things around.
Man, that's amazing.
Kind of kept me in a certain area, and I could have gone off the roads because a lot of my friends did go off the roads as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of them ended up being deported, some of them ended up in gang lives, and some of them are in prison for life. You know what I mean? The list goes on, and it's sad because these were a bunch of African men, and we're all in this foreign country, and because the system is designed for you to fail. You know what I mean? You easily become a victim to it as well. Man. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, some of them became victim
to it. Yeah. Man. Yo, I want to bet to that's so powerful. And also, I think it maybe speaks to the reason why even your storytelling is so powerful, because the greatest stories come from the greatest of tragedies. You know, I remember when I watched your play Ubudot. That was like, I'm even getting goosebumps right now talking about it, because as much as I never went to a different country, but studying in Model C schools, and then finally uyemakhaya.
Cheese boy.
Exactly that. That has, even when umangiza ngapha eGoli ngiyohlala nomchita wami owahlala eSoweto, it's still that narrative, cheese boy. You know, because the way you say your vowels, you make sure Woody they are the A is clear, always clear, you know, but you know, accent yasekhaya is not like that. So kuba naleyo fight with yourself, and then I guess you're able to channel it through stories and all of that. So what has been being a storyteller, how has that impacted your life, and especially your mental health, your mental stability?
That's a tough one.
How you
say now? I thought I was clever, but no. Look, I think you know, I'm grateful for the work that we have, an opportunity to have as artists, as storytellers, because it creates a world of empathy. You know what I mean, and putting yourself in other people's shoes, and not from a judgmental place where you're looking down on people. You're always looking for that empathy to say, but there's a reason why this person's doing this. So even you start to you become highly sensitive even towards your own feelings and what's happening within your mind as well. You know what I mean? And you start to look. It can be very difficult. Mental health is a huge challenging thing for black men. I want to speak specifically for that because we are told not to open up. We're told if you open up, it's about good feelings, man. It's about weak. It's about weak. So we're used to it and we've been told that almost all of our lives. You know, from when you were a child, when you're playing with your friends who are girls, you know, you get punched up or something. So you know, that's the stuff that we've kind of been taught and what a man is and to be strong. And I think as an artist, we start to realize, no, man, that's nonsense. You know what I mean? I can be vulnerable.
I can feel.
I can feel. I can be able to articulate myself to my friends and say, guys, this is what I'm going through. You know what I mean? And as much as it's challenging, it is. And especially fellow artists, we're able to hold each other in spaces like that.
Yes.
And we're able to listen to one another.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But once again, I think we are so privileged to do the work that we do. Yes. Because the constant reflection is always happening. It's always, whether you were taking in a role, whether you're writing something, there is a reflection that you are making of the world, of yourself, of you know what I mean? There's constantly reflecting and because you're able to put it down on paper, you're able to articulate it on the podcast, you're able to talk to friends. Not that we struggle less, I mean, there's other aspects of it which can be financial. We we don't want to talk about. That's a different world.
A different world, yeah.
You know what I mean? But at least we know that there are spaces that we can talk to, and artists can connect with other artists. You know what I mean? And you feel safe and you feel guided.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So what storytelling has given you it's given you a release.
Yes, and the ability to articulate myself and what I feel.
Yeah.
And and reflect and give myself grace.
Yeah.
And space. That's what the art has done for me. And this is what's happening.
Yeah.
I feel it. It's tough. You know what I mean? I'm able to reflect and speak about it.
Do you think mhlambe leyo of, you know, it can also be experienced by somebody who's not an artist, where they actually they put on a movie, put on a music or whatever?
Maybe it can, absolutely, probably can, but I think the reason why I reflect and I speak as an artist because of my experiences and having to observe other people. They don't know where to release certain things. You can consume, you can take stuff, whatever, all of that, but at the end of the day, you still have that emptiness, you still have that frustration, you still have that anger, that loneliness, and where's your outlet? You know what I mean? So for me, even beyond being an artist, prayer, my faith helps me, supports me, and I don't think even that goes beyond an artist. I don't think without faith, without prayer, I would be able to stand still, you know, and that's just based on everything that I've kind of faced in my own personal life and experience. I'm like, damn, I'm still standing. You know what I mean? I'm still standing. You know, and I thank God for that strength. You know what I mean?
Can definitely relate to that. I think we spoke about it in the previous show with our previous guest, where I told him, you know, one day my father told me that when they ask you, how did you make it this far, you tell them that trouble taught me how to pray, and prayer saved my life. You know, and I was like, literally, even in my darkest moments, that's where I go. You know, I go into prayer, you know, and also with the spiritual enlightenment that I'm sort of undergoing, of understanding even this is just a physical body, but I am actually more of a spirit than I am a physical body. That kind of, you know, also opens up your mind to start understanding, you know, there's a book that I read called Conversations with God, and it says that your spirit actually chose this experience. So yonke into eyenzekayo, you're so new that you are gonna go through it, but it chose it because that's the experience that it wants. You know, so you've spoken about how spirituality has actually helped your mental health. So does spirituality also go into your work?
Absolutely. Everything I do, really, it comes with that, because I need that guidance from above. You know what I mean? Like we said, that thing of being a vessel. Understand my body is just a vessel. You know what I mean? There are things that we can't do beyond our own imagination. Something else has to give in. Something else has to take over. And what is it for you? You know what I mean? What is it that you call upon for that strength to go beyond your own imagination, and especially embodying, because we embody so many other people that will walk into their life and into their path and wear their shoes as artists. You know what I mean? So it's a calling.
It's a calling.
It's a calling.
Yeah, it's a calling.
Yeah.
Definitely, and it is a spiritual thing, because, you know, I spoke about this in my last interview where they were asking me, so how has acting sort of changed your life? And I was like, sometimes it gets hard, you know, especially the divorcing of the character part, because you've kind of traded souls with this person that you're playing, you know, because in order for them to be real, when they come across on screen or on stage, kufanele uba embody, they have to live inside of you,
and you have to let yourself go and say, okay, this is no longer me. This is someone else. Of course, but a part of that is crafted. You know, it's part. It's a craftsmanship that what we do. You know, I mean, with the details that we put in, we don't just take lines and just say them.
Yes,
there's life that we breathe into them.
Yes.
There's the physicalities.
Yes.
There's so much work that goes on behind. And yes, you're saying you're creating a character, but embodying this person. A story and telling this person's life.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. In the truest and most authentic way possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Yabona, you speak about how spiritual it is. You speak about how mentally draining it is. You know, and when you're speaking about spirituality, you're not speaking about religion in a specific way. You're just speaking about this force that is from above, that comes into you, which is again spirit. You can phrase it.
I mean, different people, the mother nature is, you know, I mean, there's different things. But for me, it is definitely the Lord Jesus Christ. That is who, you know, I mean, that is who I serve. That is who I live my life for. You know what I mean? And yes, at the time I go with my own road, I'm not perfect.
Of course.
Where I do my own thing.
Of course.
I'm like, yo, big man.
Big man.
You give me a couple of seconds. I've got a couple of things I need to deal with. Right now, it's my time. My needs. Not you. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of times you go, really.
And is it fine? Like, because, again, let me just, I won't speak for the audience. Let me speak for myself. There are times where mhlawumbe ngizithola regretting about mistakes or regretting what's shit, man, I shouldn't have done that, or you know. But is it okay to allow yourself to make those mistakes so that you can become a better person?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's mistakes that I do. I know what I'm doing. It's not like I don't know it. I'm like, Luntu, you know what you're doing is wrong. But you're allowing yourself to experience this. And I'll learn from it. And sometimes the learning might be more painful than other times. But I'll learn even harder. And I learn the hard way. You know what I mean? So there are, I think we're such intelligent creatures. We know what's right and what's wrong. Your intuition tells you immediately. Like, hey, Steve, you know that's not the one. That's not the, but you know, you choose to ignore it. You know, we choose to turn a blind eye to it and say, nah, let me go ahead, let me do this. I don't know, you know what I mean? And yes, there'll be consequences. You know, everything in life has consequences.
Action and reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. You reap what you sow. Simple as that. If you got two bulldogs and they both fighting against each other, the bulldog that's gonna win is the one that you feed more. You know what I mean? It's like your thoughts. What thoughts are you allowing to feed yourself more? You know what I mean? You have that thought that says do this. You have another thought that says no, don't do it. The one that you entertain more will become more powerful. You know what I mean?
Man, that's so powerful and profound that you say that. One would say we do have a choice, because life is about choices. You know, it's a journey of choices. And omunye umuntu ugathi bengana choice. But kahle kahle bona choice. It's just that this one.
Bengana choice. You choose your choice.
Yeah. Man, that's, and you know, it's so lovely that you now touch on thought, because the mind is very powerful. You can tell yourself that you're sick, and then you'll actually become sick.
No.
You know, you can be drinking 0% alcohol and tell yourself you're getting drunk, and you'll actually get drunk. Because the power of the mind. And, you know, kune discipline of which thought that you feed. So how do you, because there's, you know, in cartoons, there's the devil angel, there's the good angel. So when those moments come for you, in your mature age now, in the mistakes that you've made, but now you are still going forward, you're still pursuing more things. And let's say the scenario is, okay, you're in a dark space. You know, let's say the cause of that dark space is no acting work for now. right? For let's say the universe is giving you a certain period of time where it's saying, "Oh, Amandra, you're not gonna get acting work." How do you control the dark and light thoughts to make sure we see the light thoughts overpower the darkness?
And it's that thing of, I've always believed that you've got to do the inner work constantly. When you do the inner work, it's going to help you during the dark times. When you do the spiritual work, you're preparing for what's to come. You know what I mean? Because when you do hit rock bottom, where do you gather yourself? Where do you gain that strength? But then the work that you've been doing previously to prepare yourself spiritually, to watch how, even once again, of what you entertained prior before that, when you go down and you pray every day on your knees, all of that, it plays part in that. Because when you're feeling weak and then boom, you gain strength, and even though it's difficult, you're like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And God remembers your prayer from 2 months ago, something that you're praying about. God has never forgotten you. You've forgotten about the prayer.
You've forgotten about
you know what I
it,
mean?
yeah.
And it's the comfort to say, you know what, I'll get through that. God has got me. You know what I mean? God has got me.
And that's that inner work. That's that inner work that tells
that you've been feeding, that you've been investing in, that you've been saying. You know? So it's the little thing that we do every single day that will help us and support us for the bigger picture, for the tribulation times, for when times are dark.
Yeah.
The little things that you're doing then will get you through that darkness. You know what I mean? That oh my gosh, that was difficult.
Yeah.
And it gives you strength.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how did I get
How
through
did
that?
I get through that?
You know what I mean? How did I have the contentment to say, it'll be all right. I'll get through it. Oh my gosh, my rent is due. Boom. Someone gives you a call and say, oh yes, this will be, boom, here's some money. But it's those little things and you're just like, that's when you're like, God, I know you're watching over me. You know what I mean? Because
Show
it's
me
not
more.
planned. Yeah. Because you can't plan it. You don't know what life will throw at you, bro. You never know what life will throw at you. And you never know how hard it will hit you and knock you down. You know what I mean? You just never know. And I just know from my own experiences, man, where it's knocked me down.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, why? Even question me like, why? How?
Why me?
Why me? You know what I mean? But there is inside of you conviction. You'll be alright.
I'll be okay.
You know what I mean? You get through it.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's okay. And what I'm getting from you is that it's okay to feel like that in that moment.
Yeah, don't dismiss it. If you feel it, you feel it. You know what I mean? Don't block it out. You know? But that's once again for me. If I feel something, I've got a strong community around me. You know, a community of people that I can talk to. Not a lot of them, but the ones around, I really can. You know what I mean?
That's so interesting you say that. It's been a common thread in our conversations that I've been having. That community.
Oh yeah.
Is another pillar.
Yeah.
To keep mentally stable.
Oh yeah.
Who you
Your
surround
tribe.
yourself with.
Your tribe, yeah.
So the saying your network is your net worth is actually true.
Yeah.
And net worth doesn't necessarily mean money.
Yeah.
It means mental stability. It means emotional stability. It means being able to step outside and breathe in and say, it's okay.
I have different friends who play different parts in my life. You know, I have more mentorship, who talk business and talk work, and I know what that's about. But I've also got friends where I can say, bro, it's hard. Yeah, I hear you, Luntu. I'm with you, bro, but we're gonna make it. Yeah. Bro, I'm dreaming and I'm thinking of this and this is my vision. Okay, let's interrogate it. And they contribute like, how about you add this number? And leave them feeling, oh my gosh. There's things I'm like, bro, I don't know what to do. I'm genuinely weak. You know what I mean? So I'm really blessed to have had a great network of people who I can call upon. You know what I mean?
And actually just talk to them, because it feels you know what, some of the conversations that have come up in our workshops is that I'm afraid to talk to people because omunye umuntu might betray me and use what I've told them against me.
I mean, we live in a very vicious world. The world that we live in now, we're so disconnected as human beings, which is sad. You know, I mean, we lack that trust, we lack that ubuntu, which is in South Africa, in this country, we're known for. We're known of ubuntu. You hear, you speak to many tourists and foreigners, they're like, you know, when they come and visit this country, South African people, so beautiful. You always hear that. You know what I mean? And yes, our nation is a country we're damaged, and there's a lot of things which play to the damage, from alcoholism, from GBV, you know, many things which this country can look at and say, we're not okay as a nation. But there's also so many beautiful things we can look at and love and appreciate this country for. You know what I mean? And the world, unfortunately, is very, we live in a world of I, me, myself, and I, and my phone. And let me disconnect with everyone else. Yeah. That is the evolution that's kind of taken over. You know what I mean? That is, you know, in 20 years' time, 30 years, I don't know where we're going to be with all of, not just technology taking over, but AI. There's so many people are going to be more and more by themselves, unfortunately. And I think COVID started that. COVID was a big break to that, where we had to be isolated, and now people have to be by themselves. We're not born and created to be by ourselves. You know what I mean?
So then, what's the role? So what's the role of the artist then? Before we close off, like, you know, we've spoken about how your mental stability. You've reflected on it, on how you were affected as a child, and how your writing and storytelling kind of helped you to be able to get through that, but also your spirituality as a pillar. And we've spoken about how important community is important too as a pillar, you know, and we've spoken quite at length, you know, with just being able to uzbuke and be content with the fact that yes, you've gone through what you've gone through, you've made the mistakes that you've made, but because of the groundwork and the internal work that I have been doing over and over again, I'm able to get through these dark moments, you know. But as observers of society, because that's what artists are, as an observer of society, you've mentioned GBV, you've mentioned the poverty, you mentioned all of these strains that affect us negatively as humans. And you've also mentioned how, as much as technology has brought in good, but it's also played a part in the disconnection of human beings. Then what is the role of the artist in making sure that connection is not lost?
What is the role of the artist to make sure the connection doesn't get lost? That's a difficult question. That's a difficult one. You know what I mean? I think, look, man, I can't speak for every artist. I think we all got different callings, and it's not just artists and purpose that has been instilled in us. You know what I mean? And it's about taking what has been put inside of you and multiplying it and sharing it with others. You know, your gift. I know I'm a storyteller, so I use that as a gift of life to create. And stories that I tell are about empathy, are about connection, are about celebrating each other as human beings, are about showing love. You know what I mean? That is.
I mean, Some Mother's Sons is literally about that, showing compassion. You know, in a time where it's segregation, but a black man and a white man have to show compassion for each other.
And Mike Van Kraan, who's the writer of the play, did a brilliant job in having a reflection of connecting each other as human beings. These are two lawyers and one. This is black and white. At the core of it is the empathy that they create for one another and the connection that they create as human beings and see one another. And yes, there is conflict, and we have that with our friends. It doesn't mean that because we're friends we can't have conflict. We can't have disagreement. You know what I mean? We're gonna have those things. You know what I mean? But Michael Panafricain, who wrote the play, did a brilliant job on that. And we talk about who's directing it. Mbulela Football directed it, and Alexandra was short. I can never pronounce. Sorry, Alex. His last name right. He was our DOP, and he was also played a contribution in directing it, and myself as well. And then, you know, that piece was really beautiful and just brought us together during COVID. And such an important work, of a reflection of South Africa specifically.
Man, human connection is the answer to mental instability.
I see what you did there. I didn't even put it that way.
You didn't put it that way. That's how I interpreted it. You know, and it's so brilliant, man. Like, we've learned so much from you. Unfortunately, we're short for time because we can talk forever. I think we need a part 2, Luntu. I think we need a part 2.
Anytime.
You know,
it's an honor to be here with Stingo as well. He's just been pushing, very 100, driven, committed, not looking back, so focused, and that's inspiring even for me as well.
Thank you, sir.
You say I'm inspiring you, you're inspiring me, and we must inspire one another.
We must inspire
and help each other to grow and hold those pillars for one another to say, hey, if you're feeling weak, I'm here, let me push you up. Look, this is what I need, this, you know what I mean?
And then we just keep pushing each other up. Instead of being crabs in a bucket, let's actually lend a hand to each other so that people can actually all rise up at the same time. You know, I love the concept of the upside down pyramid, which means more people can stand at the top and less at the bottom.
But in the world that we live in,
it's the other way around.
Lonely at the top.
It's lonely at the top.
And that is the journey of entrepreneurship of artists. It's a very lonely journey. We can't be naive. You know, yes, it's once again that communities are important, but at the same time you must be selfish in your own purpose and your own calling. And if people are slowing you down, keep going. One day you get the rope and say, hey,
now you can pull them out.
If they want to be pulled out.
If they want to be pulled out, because there's those people that don't want to be pulled up and they find where they are at. Man, Luntu, thank you so much, brother, man. Ubuntu. Taken from Luntu. You know, it shows our viewers, Uguti, no matter where you are in the world, as long as you have those values that your mother instilled in you when you were younger, you were able not to stray off the path. And most importantly, let us see each other as humans. Sawubona, meaning I see you. Sir, thank you so much, brother, man. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Anytime, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out Some Mother Sons showing on Showmax. When Luntu's back on stage, make sure you go and check him out. I know so guys, make sure you follow this man on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, follow Scene Pa on Instagram. Make sure you come check out Scene Pa here at Bantu Kraal, Newtown Junction, 2nd floor. It's right above ShopRite, so you'll not miss it. Make sure you come and get your Scene Pa merchandise, Ibantula for life. You know, make sure you get your hands on a pair of Dripville Citizen colognes. I'm going to find it straight to your doorstep. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Sir.